the leaderboard and continued, in the second round, rankings are rewarded based on the order of side quest completion. She studied the information thoughtfully, muttering, so in our region, the player who changed classes is Black Dog. The only thing that surprised her was Lu Min. Not only are you ranked first in this area, but you're also first among all regions. The angel turned to him, speaking with admiration. Impressive, Black Dog. Your Reaper class is truly unique. And your nickname fits it perfectly, doesn't it? Tell me, how did you come up with this nickname? Her question carried a hint of probing. Did you already know you would get the Reaper class? Lu Min looked up and calmly answered, I didn't know I would receive a class that matched my nickname so well. The angel let out an understanding "oh," then said, perhaps becoming a Reaper was your destiny? He gave a short response, that's right. But in reality, deep inside, he had already known everything. Even the angels didn't know how to obtain the Reaper class. They only knew it was a special class. She laughed joyfully, repeating her words, destiny. How interesting. Her interest in the player Black Dog grew stronger. I didn't expect someone in this area to have changed classes. So, are you the only one unaffected by command authority? The others immediately picked up on her words. He's unaffected by command authority. What does that mean, Angel-sama? The angel was in a good mood, so she answered them casually. Since we're on this topic, let me explain. Command authority does not apply to humans who have a profession. Therefore, the area representative cannot force Black Dog to act according to their will. That's how it is. She exposed all of the representative's weaknesses. Moreover, the command authority can only be used 10 times. So just because someone is an area representative doesn't mean they have unlimited power. The players were once again amazed, only 10 times. So that's how it works. Jungsik gritted his teeth in frustration but was powerless. Damn it. That damn angel. How could she reveal something like this to them? Gossip time was over, and she resumed her task. Now, we should reward Black Dog, the first person to obtain a profession, right? That loud and powerful snap of fingers echoed once again. Congratulations on completing the mission as the first in your current area. Congratulations on completing the mission as the first in all areas. Ryu Min touched the screen to make his choice. You have received the reward for being first in your current area, a selection of low-tier rare armor. You have received the reward for being first in all areas, a special reward selection. The familiar options appeared once again. Please choose one of the following rare armor pieces. Reward, select your desired. Reward, metal armor of the medieval warrior, leather armor of the professional hunter, or the mage's breathable cloak. He clicked on the middle option without hesitation. No need to think about it. The first one is too heavy, and the third one has almost no defense. The second golden chest was opened. Please choose one of the following special rewards. Reward, select your desired reward, X3 experience effect, for round 3, 3,000 gold coins, or information about round 3. He paused for a moment to think, since there will be a lot of monsters in round 3. Of course, I need triple experience. Then, he made his choice. Once everything was done, a radiant glow enveloped Ryu Min's body. Alright, all rewards have now been distributed. Sungchul and Aaron looked at the angel with worried expressions. Everyone can return now. The next round, round 3, is coming. Young Min, whose face was covered in bruises, was also forcibly teleported back. It's going to be interesting. The angel couldn't help but reveal a delighted smile. I guarantee it. Round 2 summary. All areas. Survivors, 873,500,205. Current area ESK 45-5 survivors, 4,988. Souls will soon be transferred back into their respective dimension bodies. March 1, 2023, the next round is about to begin. We will meet again in the next round. Congratulations on surviving. Souls will soon be transferred back into their respective dimension bodies. Young Min suddenly sat up, his face full of shock. He hurriedly moved his fingers and sighed in relief after checking his body. My hands are still intact. As expected, as long as I didn't die, my body remains whole upon return. But then, Yongmin's expression darkened, and he silently vowed to himself, I will never mess with Black Dog again, absolutely never. Damn it, I don't want to have anything to do with that ruthless guy. In Erin's room, Sungchul comforted her, you did well, Erin. The girl sitting on the sofa responded, what did I even do? You're the one who carried everything. She turned her head innocently and said, thank you for protecting me. He quickly adjusted his tie and averted his gaze, I'm your manager and bodyguard. It's only natural that I protect you. Erin suddenly brought up the person who had saved them, I want to thank Black Dog again. Is there a way to do that? Songkyul explained, we don't know his real appearance, so we have no way of finding him. It seems Black Dog doesn't want to reveal his identity either. The girl still didn't understand, he doesn't want to. Her manager added, didn't I ask him for his account number to compensate him? But he refused immediately. Songkyul hesitated for a moment before speaking directly, Black Dog knows that using an account number could reveal his true identity. Erin lowered her head, looking a bit disappointed. To ease her worries, he suggested another idea, if you really want to thank him, why not wait until the next round, find him, and give him an item. Erin agreed with the idea, good idea, I need to think of a proper way to repay him. They paused their conversation as the room went completely dark. Then get some rest today, see you tomorrow. Good night. Songkyul then took the elevator back, suddenly noticing his phone vibrating in his pocket. He picked up the phone and carefully spoke, Chairman Ma. A cold voice came from the other end, Minister Songkyul. He asked with concern, you're still not asleep? The other party casually replied, I just got home, having a bit of whiskey. As the elevator reached the 4th floor, their conversation continued. I've seen the final results. Chairman. Congratulations on successfully changing your class to Dark Knight. The chairman responded. Humbly, then probed, is that really worth congratulating? Nothing happened on your end, right? Songkyul cautiously gave a brief report, CO Erin and I only reached level 8. Along the way, we got injured and couldn't continue hunting. The other party asked curiously, injured? He entered the parking lot, looking for his car. Actually, I was about to report this matter to you. Are you available now? The other party remained on the call but fell silent for a moment after hearing Songkyul's words. Is this about Black Dog? He stood by the window, gazing at the city, then gave an order, come to the hotel. I want to hear this in person. Songkyul responded professionally, understood, I'll be there in 20 minutes. He then opened the car door and got in, unaware of the hidden figure in the corner of the wall. The person wore a hooded jacket, quietly watching as the car gradually left the parking lot. Ryu Min watched, thinking to himself, as expected, is he going to see Ma Kyungrok? 10 minutes earlier, while his younger brother was still asleep, he had already woken up and started checking something. The system prompted him, imagine the target you want to search for and say their name. He muttered in his mind, on Songkyul. Name and face matched, locating the target. The system's function immediately revealed Songkyul's location to Ryu Min. Target on Songkyul's location confirmed. Distance, 9 meters. Pretty close. Is he still in the top floor loft? Suddenly, the numbers on the screen began to rise rapidly, catching his attention. The location is changing. As the number approached 100, his curiosity grew. The location is changing this fast. Looks like he's in an elevator. Where is he going so early in the morning? A thought flashed through Ryu Min's mind, could he be going to meet Ma Kyungrok? He immediately put on his coat and stepped out of the room. Let's confirm it first. When he turned back, Ryu Min was already standing in the underground parking lot. Luckily, I can investigate him as soon as I return. Tonight, the moon was almost completely covered by dark clouds. The darkness has shrouded the moonlight. A mysterious figure leisurely stood inside the building, admiring the scenery. Tonight is the perfect night to track someone. He turned around, thinking, for now, I should endure and check the report first. Ma Kyungrak sat in his expensive chair, filled with questions in his mind. Black Dog. What player wouldn't know him? He was ranked first in both the first and second rounds. His fingers kept tapping on the surface of the chair. Something related to the first place player. This doesn't sit well with me. When another suspicion arose, he stopped tapping. Could it be that he had a conflict with my subordinates? His flawless yet resolute hands lifted. If that's the case, how can I sit idly by? Provoking my trusted aide, isn't that a direct challenge to me? His expression darkened as he contemplated. I won't let anyone who stands in my way go unpunished, no matter who they are. Even if it's the first place player. After waiting for a while, the person he wanted to meet finally arrived and knocked on the door. A familiar voice came from outside. Are you inside, Chairman? It's on Sungchul. He immediately responded, yes, come in. Kyungrak stood up to greet his trusted aide. Captain An, it's a pleasure to see you again. The other person entered and politely replied, likewise, Chairman. Sungchul spoke with delight. All of this is thanks to you, Chairman. But Kyungrak smiled casually like a colleague. I didn't do much. We weren't even in the same area. Even so, Sungchul still bowed his head in gratitude. As long as you are here, I feel motivated. Thank you. Kyungrak gestured for him to sit. You sure know how to flatter, Captain An. Please, have a seat. The other man raised his head, smiling. This is not flattery, it's a fact. Though a bit late, congratulations on surviving. The two sat down and conversed. Surviving? The second round was nothing more than a child's candy game. Sungchul still praised him. I also want to congratulate you on leveling up. Kyungrak took a sip of his drink and replied, not really, I was just lucky. In front of this respected chairman, Sungchul spared no words of praise. Some say luck is also a form of strength. Besides, ranking second and third across all regions is no easy feat. Kyungrak smiled as he looked at him, while Sungchul continued, serving you is my greatest honor, Chairman. Then, he gently placed his half-finished drink down and asked directly, hearing you flatter me this much, it seems like you have a favor to ask, don't you? Kyungrak lifted his head, the corners of his lips curving slightly. Go on, what is it you want to ask me? Sungchul hesitated slightly before getting to the point. Then. Chairman, could you tell me where to find the upgrade item? Leaning back in his chair, Kyungrak answered indifferently, it's nothing special. It just dropped while hunting monsters. Although he answered that way, he was actually hiding a secret. In truth, it was all thanks to that random ancient script fragment, Dark Knight ancient script. The scene shifted back to when he was still in that world, hearing the angel's announcement. One last thing. Say, item. Vault and check its contents. We have prepared a reward for you. Kyungrak silently thought in his mind, item vault. An information panel appeared. Dark Knight ancient script. Effect, increases all attributes and envelopes weapons in a dark aura, which inflicts damage on enemies. Upon reaching level 10, you will automatically become a Dark Knight, special class. Dark Knight ancient script. Holding his ancient script in hand, he felt its immense power surge around him and thought, will I become a Dark Knight when I reach 10-star level? Qinglu kept these thoughts to himself, I was lucky in the first round. My random ancient script turned out to be a near cheat item. But his gaze remained cold, making his stance clear, even subordinates I trust like family can't be told everything. Human nature is like that, anyone can change in an instant. Then, he spoke again, asking the person in front of him, Captain, let's get back to the main topic. Who injured you? Qinglu seriously mentioned the name he had been suspecting, was it Black Dog? Sankyo quickly waved his hand, what? No. Actually, he saved me. This information was beyond his expectations, making him ask in confusion, saved you? Explain everything in detail. After hearing the entire story, he finally understood, so those thugs were targeting actor Su, and you almost lost your life. Because of it? Sankyo replied, yes. Then he repeated, if Black Dog hadn't appeared, both of us would probably be dead. He added, Miss Aaron might have survived, but she would have been traumatized and unable to continue working in the entertainment industry. Qinglu fell into deep thought. I almost lost an important subordinate and nearly suffered a business loss as well. He swirled the unfinished wine in his glass and asked, what happened to those guys? Are they dead? His subordinate reported, although Black Dog made them suffer a fate worse than death, he didn't actually kill them. This action puzzled Qinglu. Why? Sankyo explained, he said there was no benefit in killing them. If the total number of people decreases, fewer would survive this round. He still had doubts about Black Dog's decision. He's not wrong, but who knows what tricks they'll pull in the future. However, Qinglu also made it clear that he wasn't heartless, but thanks to Black Dog, both my subordinate and my assets remained unharmed. It seems I owe him a favor this time. He suggested, I should compensate him. Sankyo immediately responded, I brought it up too, but he said it wasn't necessary and left right away. Someone as sharp as him instantly picked up on the implication. He refused a thank you reward. Is he afraid of exposing his identity? He's really cautious. Then the two of them stood up. If you meet him in the next round, thank him for me. I truly appreciate him saving both of you. Sankyo nodded, I'll be sure to tell him, Chairman. He specifically instructed, also, keep an eye on him and see if we can help in any way. You know I don't like owing people. His trusted aide immediately understood his intention, of course, I'll do as you say. But Qinglu wasn't finished yet, I forgot to ask something important. This time, he asked very seriously, what are the nicknames of those thugs? Ryu Min stood under a withered tree, looking up at the apartment's top floor, where the lights were still on. He had been outside for a long time, carefully observing their movements, such a loyal dog. Just returned to reality and immediately ran off to see Qinglu, but then, he turned and left. I should head back. Either way, I've confirmed his whereabouts. Staying here any longer will only raise suspicion. Ryu Min hailed a roadside cab to go home. A celebrity sponsored by Qinglu happens to live in the same complex as me. I should thank my younger brother for that. This made him recall the time when the two of them had first moved in. If we hadn't delivered rice cakes to the neighbors that day. He still remembered Aaron's surprised expression, we wouldn't have met Aaron. And I wouldn't have found out about Sankyo and Aaron's relationship. As he opened the car door, he carefully calculated, if I use the neighbor as a leverage excuse, it should be easier to gain Giantglock's trust. But I still need to consider whether to bring Giantglock into the second round. Ryu Min was well aware of the chairman's skill, Giantglock's Dark Knight ancient word, which was absurdly overpowered, almost like a cheat. But there were disadvantages as well, such as no ancient word reward upgrades and being forced to become a Dark Knight. But the biggest drawback is, a poisonous snake emerged from a magical fluctuation, directly draining the man's life force. To use the Dark Aura, a power of the Dark Knight, you must accumulate a special type of energy called Dark Mana. And this Dark Mana cannot be obtained through ordinary means. The silhouette of the Shadow Knight glowed faintly behind the mountain of corpses. From a certain perspective, this skill is perfect for someone as twisted as Giantglock. He forced a slight smile. Having a lunatic like that as a teammate is way too dangerous. Sitting in the car, Ryu Min contemplated to himself, for now, I'll just keep him as a candidate. I can decide how to use him later. Thinking about a certain female player, he suddenly felt at ease. Besides him, there are plenty of talented people. As the sedan drove through the empty streets, he had already made up his mind, as soon as the sun rises, I'll start moving. The next morning began with a sigh inside a convenience store. A man at the cashier counter sighed, holding his head. What should I do? As he was still agonizing over it, a noise came from the side. At this rate, sales will be cut in half. Julie walked into the store with a bright smile. Dad! He looked up at her. Julie, you're back. She greeted him politely. Hello, Dad. Why are you sighing so much? He had no choice but to reveal his troubles. It's the lottery. They've completely stopped selling it. Julie was shocked. Why so suddenly? Her father explained a few key points. The government came up with a seemingly reasonable excuse, saying it was because of the players. Her father's words reminded her of the news online. They have no idea what kind of skills players might use. KMS News, man wins lottery jackpot. 4 times, collects $62.7 million, asterisk asterisk, secret to winning 4 times. I dreamed it, asterisk asterisk, lottery sales halted due to consecutive wins. He sighed helplessly again. With rent and labor costs so high, it's really hard to survive now. What should I do? His filial daughter immediately said, Don't worry, Dad. She reassured him with a cheerful voice. I'm almost graduating. I'll be able to help soon. But then she wondered to herself, wait, would it be better if I got a part-time job to help increase the family's income? Her father quickly waved his hand. Julie, leave the money matters to me. You just focus on your studies. Suddenly, he brought up her dreams. You have such great grades. Aren't you planning to go to university? Wasn't your dream to become a doctor? Julie responded calmly. Dad, I've already given up on that dream. In this situation, what's the point of school? Her father was stunned. Then, his expression grew even heavier. You're right, money doesn't matter anymore. If something happens in the next round, you might not even survive. He covered his face and sighed. Lately, my thoughts have been all over the place. I'm sorry, Julie. Seeing her father so distressed, she called out to him with concern. Dad. She immediately reached out her pale hands and held his rough ones. There's nothing to apologize for. This isn't your fault. But he still felt guilty. But the optimistic girl made him a promise. I'll be fine, I promise. Not only did I survive the second round, but I even got a profession. Her father didn't quite understand the terminology. A profession? To distract him, she let a light shine in her palm. Oh right, Dad, hold on a second. A gentle force surged around his body. He quickly touched his head and exclaimed in surprise, what just happened? Julie happily shared with her father, this skill is called blessing. I got it from my support class. It slightly enhances all attributes. They say it has a life-boosting effect on ordinary people. His mood instantly lifted. This skill is amazing. I feel full of energy. This made her giggle. I'll use this skill on you often, Dad. Julie didn't forget to encourage him. So, Dad, cheer up. A smile reappeared on his face as he replied, all right, I'll be happy. Just then, the sound of the door opening rang out. He instinctively greeted, welcome. Ryu Min entered, dressed in plain clothes. That customer is. Julie whispered in her father's ear, Dad, do you know him? He stammered, he's the lottery winner. He stepped lightly into the store while they continued whispering, the winning numbers were identical to the 100 lottery tickets he bought. Ryu Min walked up and greeted him, hello, sir. Do you remember me? I bought 100,000 won worth of lottery tickets. The store owner responded in confusion, of course, I remember. But why are you here? Suddenly, Ryu Min bowed deeply. First, I want to apologize to you. His sudden action startled the store owner. Why are you apologizing out of nowhere? He slowly explained, I saw the news. Because I kept winning the jackpot, your store had to stop selling lottery tickets. Julie, standing nearby, wiped some cold sweat from her forehead as she heard him admitting fault. Sorry, I didn't mean to cause trouble for your store. The store owner waved his hand dismissively. Don't worry. It's not your fault. Not selling Nato lottery tickets won't starve me. However, Ryu Min still didn't relax. Even so, I still feel responsible since it affected you. So, he took a white envelope out of his pocket and placed it in front of the store owner. I'd like to offer some compensation. It's not a huge amount, but... The store owner was stunned. What? Ryu Min calmly stated the amount in the envelope. It's 10 million won. The store owner was troubled and quickly tried to refuse. You don't have to do this. Take it back. But Ryu Min remained firm. Please accept it. After all, this trouble was caused by me. Once he finished speaking, he turned and left decisively. The store owner tried to stop him, but it was too late. Hey, wait a moment. Holding the envelope, he looked distressed. How can I accept such a large sum? At that moment, his daughter spoke up. Dad. She quickly grabbed her bag and snatched up the stack of money. I'll chase him down and return it. Her father agreed immediately, handing it over. Yes, hurry and give it back to him. Julie swiftly ran onto the flat sidewalk, chasing after him. It didn't take long before she caught up to Ryu Min and shouted, wait a moment. He turned to look at her, his face completely expressionless. Because she had just run over, her cheeks were slightly flushed. You Min. Is that you? He responded in a puzzled tone, you are. She immediately smiled and introduced herself, don't you recognize me? I'm Min Julie. We're classmates. He tried to recall, classmates. She was momentarily stunned. Don't tell me you had no idea we were in the same class. Outwardly, Yu Min simply smiled and apologized, but inside, he had a different thought. Sorry, I'm not very good at remembering faces. Of course, that's a lie. In reality, he knew all about her. Min Julie, she's my classmate and the daughter of the convenience store owner. She also has a special profession, enhancer, someone who provides buffs to teammates. In his previous life, Yu Min had wielded a scythe to help her hunt monsters. Afterwards, she kept thanking him, leaving a deep impression on him. That was when I first realized she was my classmate. I never expected such a coincidence. I'm using this encounter as an excuse to approach Min Julie, but my true intention is to bring her to my side. Returning to reality, Julie generously invited him, shall we find a place to talk? He nodded in agreement. Sure. After walking for a while, they finally sat down on a bench in the park. Julie took out the envelope from earlier and handed it to him. Here, take this. Yu Min was surprised. Isn't this the money I just gave you? She firmly said, we can't accept such a large amount. You should take it back. Yu Min didn't insist. Accepting 10 million won would definitely feel burdensome. I already knew they wouldn't take it. After all, she's the type who won't accept favors no matter how difficult things get. Seeing him hesitate, she urged, hurry up and take it back, my hands are getting sore. But Yu Min was even more stubborn. No. Didn't I already say? I gave it because I felt guilty. At least this way, I can feel at ease. She tried again to persuade him. But this amount is too much. This time, he cut her off directly. No matter how much it is, I want you to take it. Otherwise, I'll keep feeling guilty and won't be able to let it go. Julie confessed to him honestly, even so, this amount is just too much. It's too much pressure for me. Meanwhile, he silently thought, that's exactly why I want to give it to you. He leaned in and whispered near her ear, just tell your dad that to me, this amount is nothing. Just accept it. Holding the money, Julie grew even more flustered. Why are you always so stubborn? Why do you? He didn't say anything else and stood up. We're done talking, right? Then I'll get going. The girl panicked and quickly called out, W8. She opened the envelope and pulled out a few bills. 10 million won is just too much. I'll only take 1 million, is that okay? Yu Min responded, do you have the authority to decide that? You should ask your dad. Julie looked up at him hesitantly. But, my dad definitely wouldn't accept it easily. That was when he suddenly realized something. Your dad. The convenience store owner is your dad. She nodded, and Yumin finally understood. I go there all the time. How interesting. Julie awkwardly agreed, yeah, I think it's funny too. The lottery jackpot winner turned out to be my classmate. A hint of melancholy flickered in his eyes. Classmate. She brought up the earlier topic again. But do you really not remember that we're classmates? The moment you walked into the store, I recognized you. Yumin still stuck to his story. Sorry, I'm really not good at remembering faces. He smiled and asked her, besides, isn't this the first time we've ever had a conversation like this? The girl met his gaze and hesitated for a moment. Yeah, it is. In the end, she lowered her head, showing a trace of disappointment. So, is this the first time you've even heard my name? He still acted sincere. I'm really sorry. Looking at the shy girl lowering her head in front of him, he thought to himself, pretending not to know her does make me feel a little guilty. Despite this, he had no ill intentions and instead gazed at her affectionately, but I have to do this to make her interested in me. Her foot gently turned on the brick-paved ground out of shyness. I just told you, my name is Min Julie. We are classmates. Julie pointed at herself and then straightened her posture. This is my face. Do you remember now? Seeing the person in front of him blushing deeply, he decided not to tease her any further and instead promised cheerfully, I'll remember. Only then did the girl realize what she had done, feeling even more embarrassed. Suddenly hit by reality. What am I even doing? Introducing myself to a classmate and graduation is so close. Lu Min spoke to her with a meaningful tone, at least now I know. It's not like we won't stay in touch after graduation, right? Seizing the moment, he made a request, by the way, give me your number. She froze for a second at the implication of his words. And my number? He was already holding his phone. What's wrong? Asking a classmate for their number isn't weird, is it? She quickly reached out her hand. Give me your phone. She didn't dare look up at him and hurriedly typed in a string of numbers on his phone. After entering the number, she immediately handed the phone back to him. Here you go. Lu Min looked at his phone and sighed, it's fate that we met like this, so let's keep in touch. Julie was caught off guard by his sudden advance and could only nod obediently. Oh okay. Their encounter came to a temporary end as he took the initiative to leave first. I have something urgent to take care of, so I'll go now. At that moment, she realized something had been left behind, but Lu Min had already waved and walked away. W8. That envelope, it. Just like that, the girl was left standing alone, lost in her thoughts. I didn't get to return it to him. Julie placed a hand on her chest and then ran in the opposite direction. It was really strange that he suddenly asked for my number. Oh no, my heart is beating so fast. A warm ray of sunlight cast over the girl's emotions, making her realize, even though I know he only sees me as a friend. I like Lu Min. Things weren't always this ideal. At first, we met by chance. Lu Min had been beaten up by a group of bullies behind the school, and she happened to witness everything. Bastard. Didn't I tell you to bring money? Do you think we're joking? And no, it's not that. Julie quietly picked up her phone and called the police. Hello, is this the police? Even after that, she still hid behind a utility pole, silently watching his lonely figure. Is it because I pity him? Or is it because I was the one who called the police, so I feel responsible? I followed him to make sure he got home safely, but because of this, she witnessed what happened in the store. Seeing Lu Min casually go to work. Only a thin layer of glass separated them. I finally understood, he was much stronger than he appeared. Even when doing classroom duty, Julie's gaze always followed him. From that moment on, I became interested in him. She secretly watched Lu Min as he slept on his desk. But I didn't have the courage to talk to him. Even when he went to visit his younger brother, she could only hide in the background. As time went on, my feelings for him grew deeper, to the point where I didn't even dare to get close anymore. Who would have thought we'd meet here? Julie stood still, closed her eyes, and silently gave thanks. Now I am brave. This is a gift from the heavens. A gentle breeze brushed through the short hair of the girl who had just begun to understand love. I can't pretend not to know him after receiving 10 million won. She showed a happy smile, then thought, so, should I treat him to a meal? At this moment, Lu Min had some free time and was sitting on the bed looking at his phone. Several messages appeared on his phone screen. Have you eaten? I have something to say. Can we meet in district? My treat. Seeing this, he replied, sure. I'll pay. The person on the other end seemed insistent on treating. Let me pay. Seeing the cute emoji sent over, he happily responded, I'm really rich, you know. The other party was clearly determined to cover the meal. But I don't like eating for free. What do you want to eat? Lu Min looked at their chat history, musing to himself, as expected, she feels indebted to me, so she suddenly invited me to lunch. This is a good sign. He even relaxed enough to let a faint smile appear. If I can naturally get closer to her, it'll be easier to make her my ally. After turning off his phone, he got up from the bed and continued thinking, I need to help Julie and bring her to level 20. Lu Yuan was sitting on the couch when he suddenly noticed his older brother dressed particularly well, making him quite curious. He asked doubtfully, bro, where are you going? Min responded indifferently, to meet a friend. Lu Yuan hesitated for a moment before asking, a friend? Not a girlfriend, right? Hearing this, Min found it amusing and asked back, what? Your brother can't go meet a girl? After speaking, he reminded his brother, I'll be eating out, so don't go hungry, got it? Yuan cooperatively replied, After his brother left, he sat blankly on the couch, lost in thought. Suddenly, he picked up an incredible signal. No way. He then fell into existential doubt. Is he, on a date? The scene shifted to a high-end steakhouse. Suddenly, a probing voice sounded, do you like eating steak? Julie was startled by the unexpected question, covering her mouth in embarrassment as her face flushed. What? Seeing her so flustered, he calmly repeated, do you like eating steak? She felt shy and stammered, why yes, I really like this dish. He casually picked up his fork. Then eat more. After answering, she thought to herself in amazement, I never expected to have a private meal with Lu Min. What a lucky day. They ate silently amid the soft music and quiet murmurs of other guests. However, in this subtle atmosphere, she suddenly realized things were getting a little awkward. The air is becoming awkward. I need to say something. Come on, be brave. After thinking for a moment, she finally found a topic and hurriedly asked, how did you manage to win the lottery 4 times? In a row. He was eating heartily and hadn't noticed the awkwardness at all. Hearing her question, he simply looked up at her. Then, without any shame, he casually made up an absurd reason, oh, that? My ancestors told me in a dream. Pretty lucky, huh? In Julie's mind, she pictured an ancestor with glowing eyes saying, remember these numbers. As she imagined this, she asked in surprise, in a dream? So how much money did you make from it? His expression remained unchanged as he naturally continued, looks like I won't have to worry about money for the rest of my life. Though. I do have to worry about keeping my life safe. At this moment, she suddenly remembered something she had always been curious about. Speaking of which, I'm really curious, what was your first level like? Was killing goblins really hard? He admitted without hesitation, yeah, it took quite a bit of time. She continued to probe, which district were you in? He answered truthfully without any impatience, I don't remember too well, just that the last digit was 5. She seemed a little regretful, gave an awkward smile, and said, my last digit is 7. What a pity, that means we won't be able to meet. Hearing her say that, he smiled gently and thought to himself without telling her, don't be disappointed, my friend. We'll meet sooner or later. Because when the number of survivors decreases, the zones will merge. Then, the two continued to ask each other social questions to learn more about one another. What level? Are you? Level? Level 10. Me too, are you in a profession yet? Not yet, what about you? After chatting for a while, they both felt more relaxed than before. Julie smiled naturally and said, fortunately. I've already obtained a profession change item. It's called Buffer. He curiously repeated, Buffer. He was delighted as he analyzed her profession name. Does that mean you can provide buff effects to teammates? Like in games? As he spoke, he thought to himself, good, this time she has a support-type profession. She was very excited to show him her skills, so she immediately raised her hand and concentrated her power. Do you want to see? There's an effect called Blessing that enhances all attributes. Hearing this, he became very interested. Really? Let me see. Immediately, she cast a dazzling and colorful skill on his forehead. A system prompt appeared before his eyes. Blessing has increased all your attributes by 50%. Blessing, remaining duration, 2 hours 59 minutes and 59 seconds. Seeing his attributes greatly boosted by her, he was thrilled and thought, as expected of a special profession. The effect is amazing. He didn't hesitate to praise her skill, that's really impressive. After speaking, he continued analyzing in his mind, if she reaches the max level, the skill effect will double. Meaning attributes will increase by 100%. However, that will only happen when she's fully leveled up. He looked at her with satisfaction. Good thing she gave me a buff. Watching her friendly smile, he thought to himself, from the very beginning, this was my main goal. At that moment, he suddenly recalled the reward item he had received earlier. The reward I got from my first profession. Change side quest was a random gold pouch. While thinking about its function, he analyzed, judging by its name, this pouch grants a random amount of gold, possibly influenced by luck. The higher the luck, the more gold obtained. Snapping back to reality, he smiled at her gratefully. The effect is really great. Thank you, July. She didn't think it was a big deal and happily offered her help anytime. If you ever need a blessing, just ask. Using this skill doesn't cost me any energy. Hearing that, he replied without hesitation, got it. At that moment, he suddenly brought up something she had wanted to say earlier. Didn't you say you had something to tell me? July then remembered what she wanted to say and spoke with a hint of nervousness. Ah, right. I was supposed to say this first. Then, with a gentle smile, she sincerely expressed her gratitude. I really appreciate the 10 million won you gave me. My father also asked me to thank you on his behalf. Afraid he might misunderstand, she quickly added, I'll make sure to pay you back as soon as possible. Hearing this, he felt a little awkward. And didn't know how to respond. He could only force a reply, is that all you wanted to say? Didn't I tell you not to worry about it? She wasn't offended by his refusal. Instead, she seemed intrigued and suggested, if you don't need money, do you want something else? I got it. After saying that, she took out an item and handed it to him. Here, take this. He looked at the item in her hand and asked in confusion, what is this? She handed him a strange purple object and said, I got this while hunting. Since you don't need money, at least let me give you this. Her expression was sincere as she urged him to accept it. This is just a token of appreciation. Don't refuse anymore. After finishing their meal, the two parted ways and bid each other farewell. That was a great meal. See you next time. As he said goodbye, he reminded her, be careful with the next challenge. Got it. Hearing this, she smiled brightly and replied, we have to survive and meet again. After saying goodbye to her, Min slowly walked alone along the stone-paved road. Then, he opened the system's inventory interface. At that moment, he began reading the item information July had given him, low-grade purple magic crystal. Asset category, description, a beautiful purple gem containing a subtle magical essence. Simply put, it's a gemstone that can be embedded into equipment to enhance attributes. As he carefully read through the details, he marveled at his luck. I never expected to get something like this from her. He reached into his inventory and carefully examined the magic crystal. With just this brief description, it's hard to determine its true value. Then, he raised the magic crystal and pondered, but once I reach level 20, I'll understand how valuable this item truly is. It turned out that at level 20, players would gain fixed skills, and upon reaching that level, the equipment fusion feature would also be unlocked. Its function sounds somewhat like forging weapons, but on a higher level. Using it, weapons can be combined with magic crystals and even upgraded. We can also freely choose the upgrade method. At this moment, he introduced the various magic crystals. There are a total of 7 colors of magic crystals: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and purple. Different colors of magic crystals have different abilities. Red is for damage. Orange is for strength. Yellow is for luck. These magic crystals are extremely rare due to their exceptional abilities. Green enhances agility. Blue enhances intelligence. Indigo can reduce incoming damage. The rarest of them all was the purple magic crystal, which he now held in his hand. Lastly, the purple magic crystal is the rarest of all magic crystals, with an extremely low appearance rate, and it enhances all attributes. He was overjoyed to have obtained this magic crystal so early in such an unimaginable way. I'm really lucky to have picked this up. At that moment, he suddenly realized that his luck was indeed quite good. My luck stat in real life is really high. After thinking for a moment, he stored the precious magic crystal in his backpack. I'll use the magic crystal once I reach level 20. Now, he decided to use July's skill to open the limited time blessing reward within the remaining 30 minutes and seconds. I should open the gold pouch before the buff wears off. Suddenly, he remembered something. Wait a second. So, while thinking, he reached into the bag and rummaged around. I'll use the butcher's ancient text to boost my attributes. Then, he took out a small white pouch containing 100 mealworms. He looked at the pouch and murmured the ancient text. The butcher's ancient text increases my attributes by 1% for every target I kill. Insects count too, as long as it's a living creature, it qualifies. At that moment, he suddenly threw the pouch onto the ground. There are no insects in this other world, so I can only hunt monsters. Fortunately, I'm still in the real world for now. He calmly lifted one foot and said, "Sorry about this." Then, he stomped down hard. The system immediately displayed a notification. Targets killed, 45/100. Due to the effect of the butcher's ancient text, all attributes increased by 45%. He continued stomping, killing more insects. Targets killed, 67/100. Due to the effect of the butcher's ancient text, all attributes increased by 67%. He kept stomping, and the numbers kept rising until reaching the limit of 100. Targets killed. Due to the effect of the butcher's ancient text, all attributes increased by 100%. Then, he opened the status window. Status window, name, Ryu Min, codename, HC, class, apprentice level 16, class, Reaper, title. Hidden Final Traveler, Hidden First Godslayer. Strength +9, Intelligence +9, Agility +63, Luck +45, Attribute points, 0. Looking at the numbers on the status window, he realized his luck had increased from 15 to 45. With this, I should get a pretty good result. Next, he opened his backpack. Then, he took out the reward item, the gold pouch. Random gold pouch, consumable. Rare item. Effect, grants a random amount of gold between 1 and 9,999. Usage requirement, must be used before the next round starts and requires at least a recruit level rank. This limited time item is given to the first person. To change classes. If not used, it will disappear automatically in the next stage. Affected by luck stat. At this moment, he confidently decided to use the reward item. My luck stat has been boosted to the max, so now. With that thought in mind, he issued the command without hesitation. Use. The gold pouch then floated in his hand. He stared at the gold pouch with anticipation. How much will I get? Even with the same luck stat, the amount of gold received varies. However, he seemed to have anticipated the outcome, so he confidently speculated. With my luck, I should get somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000 gold. Suddenly, his expression changed drastically as if he had seen something shocking. A system window popped up. You have used the random gold pouch. The system message puzzled Ryu Min. The system kept sending him notifications. You have used the random gold pouch. You have obtained 9,999 gold. He was stunned. 9,999 gold. Ryu Min happily gazed at the amount of gold far beyond his expectations, thinking to himself, I got the highest amount. Receiving blessings was definitely worth it. The system announcement summarized your total gold coins. So my total gold count is 16,249 gold coins. That's enough to buy an epic item. Just as he was thinking, the system panel disappeared. The item I want won't refresh for another 2 weeks, so I'll save it for now. The morning sunlight shone brightly into the apartment where the two brothers lived. As soon as Ryu Min entered the house, he took off his coat and said, I'm back. Seeing him return, Ryu One excitedly called out while playing on his phone, bro. Ryu One covered half his face with his phone, but his puppy-like excitement was still visible. Bro, how was the date? His question confused Ryu Min. Date? Seeing his brother's clueless expression, Ryu One asked disappointedly, weren't you out on a date with your girlfriend? Ryu Min sat down on a chair, avoiding his brother's question. Don't talk nonsense. What are we having for lunch? Seeing this, Ryu One sat next to his brother and cheerfully replied, I ordered jajangmyeon. Ryu Min rested his chin on his hand and looked at his brother with a slightly critical tone. You should have ordered something tastier. Ryu One pouted in protest. What's wrong with jajangmyeon? Do you know how much I've been craving it? His brother's words made Ryu Min recall the past. It's true. Just last month, our life was still really tough. Ryu Min continued thinking, speaking of which, my Bitcoin investment has risen to $150 million. Just like before, it'll probably crash in 2 weeks. That'll be the perfect time to sell. Meanwhile, Ryu One's eyes were glowing as he stared at something. The TV screen showed an image of a car, sparking a thought in Ryu Min's mind. Before that, I should get a driver's license first. In the exam hall, everyone was focused on answering the questions, including Ryu Min, theory test, obtaining a driver's license. The repetitive process bored Ryu Min. He sighed and thought, how many times have I taken this test already? I'll just finish it quickly and leave. After saying that, he grabbed his coat, stood up, and prepared to leave, making the examiner puzzled. The examiner watched Ryu Min's figure gradually disappear and couldn't help but wonder, what's up with this guy? When he looked at Ryu Min's test screen, he was instantly shocked. Your score is 95 points. You've passed the commercial driver's license theory test. His face was full of disbelief. In such a short time, he actually scored 95 points. Ryu Min knew better than anyone what his result would be. The result was obvious. I got my license in just 4 days. Proudly, he handed his shining driver's license to Ryu One. Ryu One exclaimed, it's dazzling. I have more driving experience than anyone. Suddenly, Ryu Min began to reflect on his reality. Wait, how many years have passed already? How old am I now? Then, he thought, after getting my license, I immediately bought a supercar, a Lamborghini Aventador, a red Lamborghini. It didn't take long to choose since I had driven this car before. Ryu Min asked, how long would it take if I import it directly? The salesperson smiled and replied, if you place the order today, it will arrive within a month. He picked up an iPad and said, alright, I'll sign the contract now. Hearing Ryu Min's swift purchase, the salesperson beamed with excitement. That's amazing, sir. You have such great taste. The salesperson's exaggerated reaction left Ryu Min speechless. Time passed, and 2 weeks later, on a sunny day. Today's a good day. It's time. Holding his phone with a smug expression, he thought, it's time to say goodbye to my Bitcoin. Seeing his brother's face full of calculation, Ryu Won asked in confusion, did something good happen? Bro, why do you have such a creepy smile? Sitting in his chair, Ryu Min answered his brother, I just sold all my Bitcoin. Ryu Won sat down in shock and asked, really? How high did the price go? Ryu Min calmly replied, $300 million. Hearing this astonishing number, he exclaimed in shock, $300 million. His younger brother became restless and questioned loudly, your lottery winnings were only $60 million in total. How did it suddenly increase to $300 million? However, Minji remained calm and answered all his questions as if it were obvious, what else would you expect? Lu Yuan admired him while recalling how, a month ago, when he wanted to invest in Bitcoin, his brother had tried to stop him. Yet now, he had made such a fortune. Lu Min replied with a smile, I didn't expect it to rise this much either. I originally thought it would be at most $280 million. At this moment, Lu Yuan calmed down and asked his brother, so, are you planning to stop now? Lu Min, still staring at his phone, casually replied, of course. Lu Yuan held up his cup of water, smiling, that's great. But soon after, his brother's words made Lu Yuan spit out his coffee. It's time to invest in stocks. Worried, Lu Yuan quickly asked, bro, you don't know a thing about stocks. What are you planning to do now? Lu Min remained calm and reassured his brother with a smile, don't worry. Lu Min seriously made up an excuse to ease his brother's concerns, I dreamed about it. Lu Yuan, half believing, half doubting, asked, you had that future-predicting dream again? What stock did you see this time? Min confidently replied, yes, in the dream, I saw that if I invest now, I'll make a fortune later. Hearing this, Lu Yuan sighed helplessly, alright, do whatever you want then. Looking at his younger brother, Lu Min thought, it's natural for Yuan to worry about me, but I know the future. Then, he stared at the screen, thinking about the company he wanted to invest in, the company I'm investing in is. A long list of stocks appeared on the phone screen. One company ranked 85th on the Kosdaq market, valued at approximately $900 million, Jianhua Consulting. Lu Min thought, Jianhua Consulting is a company controlled by Jian Lok. Although it's not well known yet, in the 4th round, it will launch a special system and grow rapidly. After reviewing the future, Lu Min felt satisfied with his decision. Since I know this company will rise, it would be stupid not to invest. As he thought, he picked up his phone, if I can acquire a large number of shares and control the company's operations, I can influence it as a major shareholder and earn substantial profits. With that, he clicked the order confirmation button, I'll invest $280 million for a 31% stake. Just then, a voice interrupted his thoughts, please. It was Lu Yuan, hands clasped together, silently praying for his brother, please let his dream come true again. That's done. He thought as he stared at the words displayed on the screen, confirm purchase order number 5.84241. Transaction successful. Without hesitation, Lu Min immediately planned his next move, now, I just need to purchase items. Night fell, and the lights in all the buildings went out, except for the brothers' house, which remained brightly lit. The faint glow came from a late-night desk lamp. Accompanied by the system notification sound, a series of items appeared on the system interface, shop. Lying on the bed with his hands behind his head, Lu Min thought, I saved up gold coins just for today. He opened the equipment tab, marveling at the benefits of having a large amount of gold coins. As long as I have coins, I can buy items and ordinary skills. It couldn't be more convenient. The screen displayed the items he had just selected, although these items are only of normal grade, that doesn't mean I can't obtain rare or epic materials. A notification popped up, today's items, today's items. Ryu Min was still immersed in his thoughts. This is a function that sells random items daily, making it difficult to buy what you want since you never know what will be available. These